In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this fake Neumann TLM 103 from AliExpress. So the microphone you can see me using here only cost me 30 Australian dollars with shipping. And for that price, I will say I'm very surprised with the sound quality. But before we dive into all that, let's talk about what you get in the box. So you get a cardboard box that has foam padding inside, and on the inside, you have the microphone, you have this shock mount that you can see me using, you have a pop filter, and then you also have a cable that goes from XLR into a 3.5mm microphone jack. Now that cable is completely useless because if you try and use this cable with this microphone, it'll introduce a whole bunch of noise because you're using the computer's preamps for this microphone, which just doesn't work at all. You need a separate audio interface for this microphone to work to its full potential. I'm using the Behringer Euphoria UM2 audio interface, which costs around 70 Australian dollars. It's a good budget audio interface, and I've been using it for many years. Now, as you can see, I do have the pop filter on there right now. That's just because the plosives on this microphone are not great without the pop filter, and I'll get into that in a minute. But let's first talk about the sound quality. So this microphone has really surprised me with the sound. It's actually really good for 30 Australian dollars. I was expecting a very tinny sounding microphone, but it actually has a bit of low end to it, and it sounds miles better than the BM800. It's relatively comparable in sound to something like the Behringer C1, which is also a budget-friendly microphone, but this one is at least half the price, which already puts this one above that. Now, it's obvious that they're trying to copy the Neumann TLM 103, and if you are wondering, on AliExpress, this microphone is just called the TL103, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you are interested in buying it, because it is actually surprisingly good. So far you've been listening to this microphone about 2 inches away from my mouth, 1 to 2 inches away from my mouth. I do have the pop filter on there. I'll take the pop filter off now just so you can hear what it sounds like without it. Okay, I've got the pop filter off there now. Still same distance away from my mouth. The only thing you'll notice is that if you do talk directly into the microphone, there will be some plosives coming in. That's just because it has no protection on the capsule whatsoever. So I would recommend using the pop filter that comes in the box. But if you don't, this is what it sounds like, and these are the sort of plosives that you will get. As you can tell, they're not great, but when you chuck this on, it fixes the issue. Now, this is what the microphone sounds like if I am right up on the microphone. And as you can tell, it has a nice warmth to it, and it's still very clear in the top end. It's actually a pretty nice sound. Now, this is what the microphone sounds like about 20 centimeters away from my mouth, and it does pick up a lot more room echo as well as noise around you. So with a condenser microphone, it's definitely recommended to have it close to your mouth. So in general, the sound I'm extremely happy with, especially for the price. And obviously it's nowhere near as good as a TLM 103 from Neumann. That's a microphone that costs thousands of dollars. And one thing I did forget to mention is actually the build quality of this microphone. It's not too bad at all. It's made entirely out of metal, at least the exterior is, and it feels pretty solid in the hand. It doesn't have too much weight to it, but it feels pretty solid. But the shock mount, on the other hand, is made entirely out of plastic, and it feels pretty cheap and flimsy. It still does the job as a shock mount very well. It completely reduces the shocks that are coming into your boom arm or wherever you mount this microphone, but it's just not built very well, and it would have been nice to see this made out of metal. But to be honest, for 30 Australian dollars, I can't really complain. You can always get a different shock mount, and the microphone itself is relatively well built. So should you get this microphone from AliExpress? Well, I'd say if you are looking for a nice budget-friendly condenser microphone, to be honest, this is a very good option because it is so cheap, and it's a lot better than getting something like the Florian BM800 or the Neumann NW800. Those microphones don't sound any good at all, so you're much better off getting this one. So hopefully this video did help you out, and if it did, drop a like on the video. If it didn't, drop a dislike on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.